Hi, everyone, and welcome to kickoff celebration for our new upgraded membership program. So thank you for coming on live. We always appreciate it when you come on live. And if you could come on video, that would even be mo better, as they say in Hawaii. So I'm going to just do a quick overview, and then you can ask your questions. Okay, you are cordially invited to attend this free live presentation and overview on my new and upgraded membership program, open to all starseeds and indigos and people like yourself. I will overview the membership program, its value, scope, focus, goals, objectives, format, and bonuses. We will do Q&A and respond in depth to your questions and sharings. We will conclude the evening with an organic and evergreen attunement meditation. During this transition period into the new Earth matrix, it is important for Lightweavers and wayshowers like yourself to have a safe and supportive and sacred platform to express yourself and receive ancient teachings. Of value also is a place and time for Lightweavers to come together to unite, connect, and receive the blessings and grace that is your inherent birthright. The membership program is a time of communion and connection where all can come together in union, love, and peace. All are welcome, all are accepted, all are supported. So I'm going to ask you to also forward the email about this membership program, if you so choose, to those that you feel could benefit from coming together online twice a month into forever. There's no end date to this program, so I will do it as long as the need is there. So basically, I got guidance to start a new level of membership, and we did send out, or are going to send out, to all the members of our old membership program, which ended, I think, in at the end of 2018, a special invite. And so look for that email in the coming days. Again, I was guided to create a platform for people like yourselves to come together so that you don't feel so alone and isolated in these times of great change. And it's always appreciated, I'm sure, when people can get together of like mind and heart and share, discuss, ask questions. And more importantly, these membership programs on another level is creating a bond, how should I say, a circle of light where you all are connected on the inner planes, even though you may or may not show up live for these live calls. And it's important also on those inner levels to feel one with your fellow travelers. Now, the value, let's see, let me go over my notes here, or my outline. The value, again, the value is for us to create a energetic space to where you can feel free to open up and perhaps ask deep questions about healing, transformation, where you're going in life, anything that I suppose could be addressed through mentoring and coaching. The scope tentatively will be something along the lines of we'll do a presentation in the beginning, so that can activate some things deep within you for the Q&A that's going to follow. But also sharing your insights as to how we all can move forward together. Because remember, the planet is going through a dark night of the soul, and we don't know how long this is going to take. This could take years. This could take decades. We don't know yet. So it's important to be with tribe, your fellow travelers along the path, because what one experiences as healing, the group also benefits from that healing. So as you know, when one shares, everybody benefits. It's also, how should I say, opportunity for you to come out of your closet and to really openly share. Focus. Again, the focus is going to be about self-empowerment. It's going to be about self-healing. It's going to be about understanding what is happening in the world, the purpose of what is happening in the world and on the inner planes. Focus also will be helping you to tune into and align more deeply with your guides. And remember, your guides come and go. As you evolve, you're going to get new guides from different levels. So as always, we always invite the group, as we call them, highest frequency guides, to come in and join us. And again, the goal is for you to become self-empowered, for you to be sovereign, for you to be able to heal all of your physical, emotional, and psychological lessons with a lot of grace and ease. Again, the format is going to be a presentation, then a Q&A, deep sharing, but also we're leaving it open for the presentation to evolve organically, so it can go in directions that I haven't even thought about. So basically it's going to be an open-ended in a sense, with specific goals and objectives to be met in your divine right timing. We're going to offer a lot of bonuses. You're going to get a couple of yearly packages, and you probably have ordered some or all of them, but we're going to offer a couple of yearly packages. We're going to offer monthly drips of my past interviews on telesummits. And for the first time, really, we're going to do monthly drips for 18 weeks. No, I'm sorry, 28 months. I have 28 months, or I have actually 28 radio shows from World Puja Network that I did with Maureen Moss back in 2011, 2012. And they were only public on her network, and then it closed down a few years later. We're going to be offering that as a bonus once a month. You'll get a 1-hour World Puja radio show from me. And those were basically on the chakras. We actually did 28 levels of alignment and healing through the chakra system. And I've never really done that since, although I'm going to do an online recorded program on healing through the chakras so that anybody can offer that. Okay. And of course, we always end every 2 hour. Well, it'll be 90 minutes to 120 minutes. So 90 minutes to 105 minutes to 120 minutes. So we'll go as long as 2 hours, because I like everybody to get the energy and share and interact. It's very important because we're going to develop our interaction skills in these membership calls. I think that's a weak link for many starseeds, the communication level, throat chakra. But, we're going to go into all kinds of different levels: chakra work, aura work, higher guides work, star systems. What I'm going to do is tune in like about a day before each class, and it's going to meet twice a month to get the theme for that class. So really, I won't know ahead of time too much, but just before. And then we may put it in the email reminder for that morning of your class. Okay, so again, thank you for joining, and let's see how many people we have. Oh, boy, the closed caption sure goes into not the right place on my screen. So I don't know how many people are on the call. But anyway, small group tonight. Jen always has questions. So Jen, would you like to lead off and ask any questions about the membership program that we're going to offer in a few months? We're going to change the date, actually. I'm going to move it forward into next year. And Jan, were you on in the old membership program?
I don't remember.
Okay, maybe not.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So Jan, introduce yourself and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Jan from Honolulu, Hawaii. I don't really have any questions for you, Kenji. Are you going to have a Facebook group for this, or is it just strictly the the meeting is twice a month?
Yeah, I'll just be strictly here. I'm really off of Facebook,
Mm,
but I'm on Pinterest, Instagram, and TikTok and YouTube.
okay. Melissa has a question.
Okay, Melissa.
Hello, Don.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I actually had a comment I just wanted to share.
Okay.
I was in the membership program last year, and
Last year?
Yes, when you did it last November,
When I did what?
it was almost the it was the fireside chats, but it was kind of like a beta, sort of like you did 8 classes, and it was kind of like a membership.
Oh, you mean, was it a mentoring or a healing program?
It was the third part of the mentoring.
Okay.
So it was kind of like the fireside chats, but it included the sharing.
Okay.
I just wanted to comment that the container alone was extremely supportive with things that I might not have even shared with the group, but yet happened in my life. For instance, I was able to quit smoking, and it's been a year. So that was really good for me on health goals. And I know I could feel the support from the container. So throughout even my everyday life, I wasn't connected to you or anybody at the time, but yet just being in the container really helped that. And especially connecting with people on the phone, you can feel the energy of everyone, and it feels like you're home. The energy you can feel when you do the meditations or activations, it just raises, and it helps keep you grounded and almost set for the week, for the month, for the day, to keep you at a higher vibration if you have a tendency to go up and down throughout the day. So I found that extremely beneficial. Just overall, the support was great. So I can't thank you enough.
Wow.
And I
That's
look
wonderful.
forward to joining again. Thank you.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. That
Thank
reminds
you.
me to talk a bit about. So in the idea of gathering people together twice a month. We'll ask you to put your your contact info in the chat box so you can connect up with other people, especially those that you resonate with that share. So part of the idea is for you guys to connect outside of the format to establish your friendships and your connections, and maybe even physically meet if you're in the same state, because that's always nice to do. We did a circle of 8 manifestation for my new Sedona home back in the spring, from people from like Australia. They were in Australia and Canada and the East Coast, Northeast. Excuse me. And they exchanged contact info, so they stayed together as a group. I wasn't part of that, but they stayed together as a group and like formed their own like little connection, little zone chat groups. So we'd like, people to be able to do that, because you may recognize some of your soulmates that will be on the call. And it'll be really good if you guys could connect through the chat box and then connect on your own. So that's also a plus. And then another thing I was thinking of, we've done this before when we did the training for the QL work, the quantum light weaving work. I did about 8 years of traveling and teaching. And we always said, and there'd be usually between about 16 and 34 people that would come together in any one retreat. And they exchanged contact info. We created a class list. But we said, and this applies to the membership program, that when you meditate, you can tap into the group energy on the inner dimensions and have a conversation with anybody in that group, or just connect up with the energies that you guys are building on the inner planes between meetings. So this is not just a physical meeting twice a month, but we're co-creating togetherness on the inner planes as well. So think about that. That's pretty cool. So they would call that, in quantum theory terms, kind of like a morphogenic field, where there's kind of like a group emphasis, a group intention, and anyone that's part of that group intention can tap into the group energy, and also the individuals in that group. So it's really practicing your telepathy, your out-of-body travel with your Merkaba. There's a whole lot of things that we can do in these twice-a-month calls. And really, it depends on the group where we're going. So the more awake you guys are that attend, the more we can go really deeply into some really far out places. So thank you for sharing that, Melissa. That got the ball rolling. Anybody new on the call? New to the work?
I'm new to
It's funny.
I'm new to this part of your work, so I thought I would check in and see what it was about. And it's interesting and sounds like, it does have a good, definitely a shape to it and flavor. So it just kind of like depends on my circumstances, what I have. I don't know. I'm a lot of things up in the air right now, so it kind of depends on how they land.
Yeah, I'll give you some details before I forget. So it's I think it's going to be on first and third, or second and fourth Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, USA, for 1.5 to 2 hours. But here's the thing. You can also obviously do replay and get just as much out of it energetically as if you were live. The only difference would be you wouldn't be able to participate, but you'd get everything else. And as you guys know, the more you listen to the same event or activation, the more you're going to get out of it. I was told way back when, back in about 2008, that these activations on a physical level, like a verbal level, you get about 10% on a verbal level of what is totally in the activation. And the other 90% is on the energetic levels, on the inner planes. And the more that you listen, the more you're going to pop into those other levels and get further, deeper downloads, shall we say. So we try to present as much as we can every time we present, but it's only a partial of the whole that can be accessed. Does that make sense? Anything you'd like to share, Golden? You can unmute it at the bottom of your screen. There you go.
Yeah, I was just leaving you a message. Just left it now. I'm sorry for being a latecomer, everyone. I've just got home, but
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you, Kenji, for if anyone deserves a glow up and a blow up on the digital world, it's you. And so
Hey,
congratulations.
thank you. I'll take that. I'll have that.
Yeah. Yeah, the blessing really belongs to you at this time for all that you have offered all of us. And I wish you and your membership platform, your new platform, yay, the biggest and bestest luck, and that you are blessed with all that you currently stand in need of, for all that you do for all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Where are you from?
I'm New Zealand. I'm your woman
Ah,
of the future.
oh, there's a woman by the name of Minette there in New Zealand.
Okay.
Minette.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to get a hold of her, but if you could email me, I might have her email somewhere in my system. I'll connect you
All right.
guys together.
All right, love. That's great. Thank you.
Oh, and also there's a couple of New Zealanders that have come on the free master classes.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, I love New Zealand. Haven't been
We'll
there
get
yet.
you here one day. We'll get you here one day. I'll find an excuse to get you here as a guest speaker. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. And well, thank you for sharing that. Melissa asked Jan about what was the class called, Jan. That's in the chat box from Melissa. Okay, Bonnie's got to leave early. Jan says, a blast from the past. A blast from the past. So, what other questions might you guys have? Oh, it's only going to be $39 a month. That's very affordable. So you guys will get some kind of an account to where all of the class replays will be in your account. So you can download it at any time from your account or play it from your account, I suppose. I've never been into my account, but each person in the membership program will have an account. So you can always access that. And of course, all your bonus downloads will be in there. Your monthly drips will be in there as well. Actually, energetically, you're going to get a whole lot for $39. I mean, energetically, it'll just be like, you'll probably think, wow, I don't have enough time to listen to all this stuff, which might be true, but at least you'll have it in your account. So you can come and go. You know, if you don't like it after 3 months, you just drop out, no problem. You can come back in again when you want. Everybody's going to be billed every month, and drop out anytime, come back when you want. So free flow.
Can I just clarify, please, Kenji? Is that 3.9 or 2.9 a month? Just because it's double over here. Yeah.
Double 39 USA dollars.
Okay. So it's 80 New Zealand.
How much is it there?
That would be 80 over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the dollar has a lot of value there in New Zealand then.
Oh. How do you figure that if your money's worth twice ours?
No, well, I mean, or what I meant was if I was to go over there and buy something for $80, it only cost me $40, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You'll love it when I find the excuse to bring you over. You'll be able to spend up a storm, my friend.
Well, you know, if you guys have a business, that's always a business deduction. So for you guys that always have a business, Jennifer McLean told me one time, she told me record everything I do. So I remember that. So I record just about everything I do. But I remembered to record everything that I do, which led me into thinking I'm going to save all receipts for business expenses right off. So if you guys have a business, you can pretty much write off almost everything of your expenses every month, except for food. Unless you do entertainment, which is like 50%, I think, at least here, business write-off. But anyway, yeah, save all your receipts, deduct everything as much as you can. Save on taxes. Who else has a question about the program? What it might look like?
Iona has a question in the
Oh,
chat.
yes. Is the membership more towards healing or mentorship? Both. Yeah. So when I interact with you in the program, it's for a healing focus and or a mentoring focus or coaching focus. And again, the idea is self-empowerment. So I do my best to guide you into tapping into your resources, to tapping into your own knowingness of your issues. And of course, we always are going to get better and better and better as we practice. See, so again, the membership program is about practice. The more you attend, the more you interact, the better you're going to become in all ways. But you know, for all of you shy light weavers that are on the phone, it's about coming out of the closet, making yourself visible. Because here's what I've learned. Here's what I see. The suffering really comes from when you keep closed off your abilities and your gifts and your intuition and your knowingness. That's when you suffer, because you're not sharing it. You know, if you get something, it's most likely because you need to share it with someone that's going to help them. Recently, let me see, I was in conversation with some friends, and this is pretty common. You can relate to this. So the situation was like, well, I can only open up to certain people about my spiritual stuff, and then I just got to pretend normal with the rest of the people in my life, especially my family members. They can't talk to them really about anything, or I'll get pushed back and all that. Then I was telling my friend, well, you know, there is a way that you can reach people on their level in a spiritual way without perhaps looking spiritual or feeling spiritual. That is an art, I think, that needs to be learned and cultivated. But it is quite possible to be able to talk to anybody from any walk of life in their own language and help them as well as to connect. So just think about that one for a while. So, I mean, we can go into any kind of level in these membership calls, you know, and the more that you guys ask profound questions, the deeper the energy can go. So we're trying to create a unique membership subscription program that's different than what other people are doing. And I have no idea what other people are doing because I've never joined anybody else's membership group. But our goal is to be uniquely us with a unique flavor. We're all benefit. So we're calling in the tribe. We're calling in like-minded starseeds to come onto this call, to sign up for these calls. So we can get them from social media. We'll probably get most of them from our list, but we're also reaching out in different platforms. And I'm doing a bunch of new telesummits. Usually I get an invitation in an email, and that's how I get on these summits. But I don't actively seek to go on any summits. Although you guys could also consider Lauren Gailey. She's got a really nice summit going, and she's in Costa Rica now. She used to live in the United States, but she moved because she wanted to get out of the mess here. So she's in some part of Costa Rica. She's got a really beautiful show, and Julia Mick, M-I-K-K, has got a beautiful audience, a beautiful summit. I was on both of those recently. So if you are a healer, coach, you've got products or a free gift offer to offer, you can email me if you want, and I will introduce you to them. or any other radio show that I've been on recently. We like to network, you know, and part of this membership program is about networking. So for instance, maybe during a particular meeting, I have a question about, let's see, who's doing a really good spiritually oriented podcast that I could go on? Well, I would put that out to the group, and who knows, maybe somebody from the group knows of a really good podcaster that brings on people and to share their work and their perspectives on life. So that's just one example. Another one might be somebody from the group might need a naturopath, and they live, like, say, in Arkansas. And they happen to know a natural doctor that lives in Arkansas also. In that situation, I would recommend him to that person. See, so again, it's about networking. We need to network more. We need to what? Share our resources with people. All right. And again, part of the focus of the group would be, again, for you to open up your throat chakra. Because as long as you keep that closed down, you won't be able to manifest very well. You've got to have an open throat chakra to manifest. If that's closed down, you're going to have difficulty and struggle with manifesting. You know, and that could be one of the central themes of the twice a month meetings, manifesting. Could be relationship healing, healing relationship, ancestral healing. Could be healing core issues like my primary unconscious fear, or healing when I first shut down as a 3-year-old. Or it could be healing the trauma from my first marriage. It could be any and all things, right? How to mentor your kids that are very sensitive and perceptive and don't go along with the usual program, right? It could be anything. Questions? Carol.
Do you have,
Carol's always got a question. Oh, go ahead, Golden.
do you have any handy hints on how to open up a blocked throat chakra, my love?
Take your hands and go like this. Oh, okay, we're gonna open it up. Go ahead. You see me? Go slow though.
Okay.
Do it 3 times. You just open it up. Come out of the shadows. Okay, I'm coming into my body, coming into my throat, so I can connect my heart with my brain. And then take a deep vertical breath in and out. Breathe in vertically and exhale vertically 3 times, all the way down to your guts, your solar plexus, and then ground your feet. Okay, share with us what you're noticing on any level.
My brain started ringing.
Your brain started ringing.
Indeed, it did. I'm good for a laugh, if nothing else, that's for sure.
Oh, that's good. Okay, my brain's coming to life.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of trouble with my throat chakra actually. So I'll do that effectively and more focusedly. So thank you for that handy hint.
Yes.
Definitely something shifted, that's for sure.
Okay. You'll probably notice it a little bit. So again, you guys got to remember, healing is not necessarily instantaneous. It can happen over a few hours, days, weeks, months from the time we did like an exercise like that or a meditation. And for those of you that are impatient, well, practice patience. All right. I think we all have to practice patience right now. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Golden. Okay, Carol, always has questions. She's in Tahiti right now with a little breeze along the shoreline.
Say this is a good way to astral travel. We're in Honolulu or New Zealand, Tahiti.
Yeah.
We're with the unicorns and fairies everywhere. But I really wanted to talk about astral travel because I think that would really be fun to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would do that as a group. Would we do it in dream time, or would you?
Well, we can practice doing it as a group, but we want to call it Merkaba travel and not astral travel because we're not going into the astral realm when we do our out-of-body travel. So we can reframe it and maybe call it something like Merkaba travel. I did a recent magnetic healing too. It was on the Merkaba. It was cleansing and healing and realigning your Merkaba. Because I got the impression not too long ago that the reason why people can't do out-of-body work, they're stuck in the physical realm, they're stuck with their body. They have a hard time conscious teleporting or whatever. It's because the Merkaba is not in full swing, as we say. In other words, if we use our car to get from here to there physically, and if our car is damaged, like it's got a broken wheel and the steering wheel's kind of cracked and the engine's got oil leaks and the fan is missing one blade and you only got one muffler working versus two, and you got a couple of doors that don't lock correctly. Well, imagine traveling in your car, how difficult that would be. So your Merkaba is like your car. So until it is like really fine-tuned and cleaned up and stable, you're going to have a hard time. So that's also what I got. And, you know, I've known about the Merkaba for decades, but it didn't dawn on me to do any conscious work on it until I did the last class, Magnetic Healing Part 2.
Ah,
So
I like to do that. I don't really know much about my Merkaba.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
maybe I know about it, but I didn't know it had a name.
yeah. Well,
Well,
it's
what-
part of one of your light bodies, and you need, see, on every dimension, we have a body, whether it's a physical body or a light body or a subtle body, whatever you want to call it. So let's just say creation is 12 dimensions, just for discussion. Not that
Okay.
it's limited to the 12, but just say the 12 has 12 sub layers equals 144. So in actuality, there's 144,000 different dimensions that's accessible to us, and our bodies also contain 144,000 different dimensional levels. So the mind cannot fathom that because that's huge, right? But just for the sake of discussion. So we've got 12 levels. And so on each level, we've got a different body that we inhabit or that we move with in those dimensions. But say on the 8th dimension, your light body is a bit damaged. Okay, so you're a little bit inoperable on that 8th dimension. And say that's the dimension of your Merkaba. Not that it is, but just for sake of discussion. So when we clean it up and repair it, just like how a mechanic would repair your car, hey, and then you can travel much, much easier. So you can go from here to Venus in a split second. If your Merkaba is in order, you can go from here to Arcturus, just like that. You can go, as a group, we could go from this dimension, this 3rd, 4th dimension, we can move up to the 7th dimension into a temple of light and experience healing.
So is it our imagination?
Not exactly, but you use the power of your imagination to correct things, to heal things, to cleanse things. Our imagination is a tool that we have. So when consciousness works in form, something happens, right? Now, the reason why healing doesn't work with a lot of people, energetic healing, is because there's not enough consciousness in the approach or in the format or in the tool or in the exercise. And we can work on that. We could spend like the next 6 months in our group meetings working with consciousness and how to improve your consciousness, your ability to focus, your ability to manifest, your ability to do whatever.
Mhm.
Is that making a little bit of sense, Carol?
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense. I go there from time to time to my understanding of these different levels of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't say that I am always understanding it. It just seems to come and go.
Yeah. Well, let me give you an idea. Do you work? Do you have a day job?
No, I'm an artist. I do work on my artwork.
Okay. Do you have a particular favorite park that you frequent?
Yes.
All right. I want you to close your eyes. And we all can do this. Okay. I want you to close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe in and out. Relax the body. Begin to relax the mind. Relax all the tension in your body. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and out. Come into the now moment. Now you're going to create the intention. I am here. I am now. I am. Inwardly with intention. I am here. I am now. I am. And you're going to tell your guardian angels, okay, we're going to go on a little trip. I want you to come with me. And then I want you to invite your inner child. Same thing. We're going to go on a little trip, little one. A little fun trip. Okay, another deep breath. Now, bring your awareness up from the heart chakra, up through the throat, into your forehead, into your third eye, activating your pineal pituitary. Keep your focus there. Imagine almost like your eyes, your physical eyes are actually looking upwards into your forehead. Keep your focus there. Keep breathing. Now, imagine that you're instantly in your favorite park. And you're going to imagine walking around in your favorite park at whatever time of day or night. And you're going to meet some nature spirits there. They're going to say hi to you, and they're going to introduce themselves to you. And you're going to ask them, who are you, or what are you, and what is your purpose? And you're going to ask them for a message that can change your life in any now moment. So breathe in and receive their message into the heart. Now, tell them the next time you physically go to that park that you want to reconnect with them so that they can share with you their world, their kingdom, their gifts, and how they're here to help people. And of course, the planet itself. Okay, come back into your room with your inner child and your guardian angels. Take a deep breath. Okay, come back down into the heart space. And keeping your throat open and open your eyes. Okay, so we are curious. Share with us what you got from that.
Me, Carol? Yes?
Yeah, you.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. I went to my favorite Japanese garden in Murakami Park, and I went to the bonsai garden, and I was talking with the beautiful bonsai trees, and they were sharing with me how important it is for me to spend more time with them, because they speak to me so well, and it comes in like a feeling that's really important for humanity to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's very subtle, and we need to spend more time with the trees so that we can contact. It's almost like telecommunication,
Mm-hmm.
but in a way that's full of beauty and the subtle, the kingdom of the earth that's so strong and rooted and flexible, but also has messages that are very important for each of us.
Beautiful. So it's that easy.
Wow. Wow, really? That's all. Amazing. So we could pick anywhere we want to go and do that.
Yeah. You can practice on the earth plane for starters, anything on the earth, any sacred place that you want to go to that you haven't been to, or that you've been to that you really like. Like one of my favorite places that I've been to physically is Lake Louise in Canada. Oh my God, the Canadian Rockies up there, and the pristine lakes like Lake Moran and Lake Louise, and that beautiful river that flows from that area going south, I think, down towards Calgary, I think, or Edmonton. I think it's Calgary. That's a beautiful river. Wow. Anyway, that's one of my favorite places.
Does it speak to you, that river?
Yeah, all that whole land did. Yeah, it's just awesomely beautiful. We did a retreat training up there, and oh, the activations were pretty powerful. Yeah. Well, I love Canada. So, but that was probably the most scenic place I've been to in Canada. Beautiful. And of course, I can go just like that to Maui, Haleakala Crater, because I used to live there in the island. So no problem for me just to go there in a split second. But see, we can do energy work. We can help work the grid system of the planet by doing these teleportation kind of things. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do in the membership. It's really, we're only limited by our group creativity, and you guys can send me, just pretend that you guys are members of the membership. You could always email me suggestions on themes for the next meeting.
So what email would we use, Kenji?
Just go through my website, contact us on my website.
Because I sent you things, but I don't hear anything back, so I didn't know if I had the right email.
Oh, then you probably don't have the right email, or it didn't get forwarded to me. But whatever you re-forward it, resend it to me. I will. Actually, here, I'll put in my personal email in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see here. Oh God, where is meeting group chat? What's happening with the chat box? Why is it not doing anything? It's just like it's stuck. What happened here?
I'm going to say hello on it and see if it works.
Hello. Yeah, I see hello there. Well, this is in oh, I see. That's weird. That is weird. Okay, I'm going to put in my personal email. Yeah, resend me those, because I don't remember getting stuff from you necessarily.
Okay, I'll resend it. So maybe it doesn't work then. Are you getting other emails from that website?
Yes, but I'll also give you another one. I'll give you my support email. That's my work email.
I don't see anything. Did you put it in?
Still typing.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sending it now. Okay, it's posted there. Oh, Connection of Souls, Jan. Yeah, okay, Connection of Souls. And now I can't remember what that program was about. Oh my God, that was only like 6 months ago or something. Or a year I had Connection of Souls. Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember what focus that was though. No, we haven't done a monthly subscription program since 2018. So 5 years. Yeah, Connection of Souls. Okay. Yeah, Melissa, it was one was the healers group, one was the mentors group or the mentorship group, and then there was Connection of Souls, I think. So the 3 prior programs we had done before. We're also doing a higher consciousness program, but we did the celebration kickoff last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last Thursday. So you can sign up for that one, get the replay. I tried to explain the purpose of the higher conscious program, and the dates been moved up ahead till next year. Okay, let's see. Yep, Connection of Souls. Okay. Who else has questions? Or we could do a little process. Those of you that haven't shared yet that are on the phone, if you want to interact, just unmute yourself or raise your hand. And we'll give you another flavor of the membership program. Cindy, any questions? Or Loanna or Hector or Bet or Steph?
I have another quick question.
Okay.
When you were saying something like we only get 10% of what you're sharing, and then we need to listen more because we'll get more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I grok that. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Can we get it all in one listening, or why only 10%?
Well, that's what I got from the guides way back when.
Oh, okay.
It's only because we have filters that we have to clean up, our filters, our energy filters. But if someone was totally open without any filters, then they could get it all at that time.
Oh, okay.
But since we have filters and we have preferences and we got judgments and we've got this going on in our life and that going on in our life, generally we can't absorb the whole 100% at one time. So the guides were saying most people will get about 10% or so the first time.
Can I say something to that, Kenji?
Yes, you can, Jan.
All right. So for me, I've always in some of the classes that I've taken with my color energy is like, she's like, you need to listen to the class like at least 6 times. And, the classes are long. So I'm like, what? but I mean, it stands true because every time you listen to it, you pick up something else, something that you didn't hear before. And even, like Kenji, you were saying, it's like, you get it at another level. And then, when you listen to it again, it kind of like filters down to a deeper level, right? Yeah. And then also, talking to the fact that you're also at a different place every time you listen to it. Right.
Good point. Good point. That's like the Matrix movie, Matrix 1. So when I first watched the movie, I didn't get it. A few years later, I watched it again and I got more. And I went, wow, I don't remember this scene. And I don't remember that scene. I watched it again a third time, I got more. And then recently, I think I watched it again, pretty much the whole thing, and I got more. That's like Matrix 4 movie. Okay, I watched it the first time. Yeah, it's pretty good. I watched it again and I got more out of it. And I don't, and I remember some scenes where I don't remember watching those scenes when I watched it the first time. It's almost like your mind goes blank and you just don't get it the first time. And I think I watched it again in parts. I think I'm on my third time and I'm understanding more. So yeah, I guess that's just the way that our brain has been conditioned to work in our culture, as we don't get it all the first time. And it's so like repeat. That's like they say in marketing. I'm not saying this is true, but they say you need to market the same thing to the same person about 6 or 7 times before they'll make a decision on whether they want to buy the product or the program. Why? Maybe 6 or 7 times, I don't know. But it might be like what Jan was saying. So it's good to repeat. That's like when you read a book and you read it for the second time, you go, wow, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I think it all has to do with filters and prejudices that we have. And so as we clear them, then we open up this new space for the information to come in or to be acknowledged or for us to become more aware of what we are aware of. Remember back in your life when you weren't aware of certain things, but now you are? So what explains that? Okay, you phone callers, let's get with the program here. Unmute yourself, say something, anything.
I'll say something. I have a question. Can you
Yes,
give
yes.
advice how to kind of almost like a self-assessment? So every time we can fix something, we can heal something, we can focus on something. So it's hard to get in touch with self. So what does myself or my body needs right now the most so I can give that? I don't know if it makes sense. It's almost like a self-diagnosing or self-evaluation or...
What is your occupation, dear?
an IT.
IT. Have
Yeah.
you been to IT a long time?
Yeah,
Okay, and where do you live?
in Maryland.
Maryland, okay. Okay, let's try something. And again, everything's experimental. We are on this earth as a great experiment. You probably forgot about that. Earth is a great experiment. The universe, I was told this decades ago. I mean, like a long time ago. And I thought that it was true. So what they said, this guide's from the other side, they said that Earth, that the whole universe is watching how Earth moves through its transition zone, shall we say, or its dark night of the soul, or its whatever you want to call it, its journey to new Earth. The whole universe, in other words, many, many civilizations are watching us to see how we do it so that they could probably copy us or not do what we're doing, if you know what I mean. But in other words, a lot of eyeballs are on Earth right now. And they're probably looking at Earth right now in this now moment going, oh, I don't think we'll do it that way. You know what I mean? Okay, anyway, let me see, to answer your question, dear. Okay, close your eyes for a moment. And just bring your awareness to the breath. And breathe in and out through your heart. In and out. You're going to create some passageways in your heart chakra. Breathing in and out, breathing the light, breathing the prana in and out through your heart chakra. Now, allow your higher self to reset and reposition your assemblage point, which should be in the center of your chest. So if your assemblage point is off to one side or down too far or up too far, you're going to allow your higher self, your I am presence, to relocate, to reset, to reposition your assemblage point. Take a deep breath and just stay relaxed and just breathe normal now. Stay in the now moment. Keep your body relaxed. And imagine now, imagine that your heart has an eye and that it can see as well as feel. So imagine through the eye of your heart that your higher self is going to, for a moment, take away some blinders or some filters and put it off to the side so that you can begin to see more clearly and feel more clearly. Opening up that space in front of you, behind you, and both sides, and above you and below you. Now, take a deep breath of the light that is your source. Breathe it deeply through your heart chakra. Now let it circulate vertically all the way up and down your spine, and horizontally all around you, going in both directions at the same time. Extending out into the world, around the planet, into the universe. Okay, stay in the now moment, take a deep breath. Okay, rub your hands together in front of you, rub your hands together, creating some friction and some heat and some warmth. And then you're going to put one hand on your forehead and the other hand on your belly. And then take another deep breath, relax. Okay, you put your hands away and open your eyes. So again, this is an example of a spontaneous activation. So we are always practicing being spontaneous in all that we do. Membership, higher consciousness program, events, personal sessions, free master classes. Everything that we transmit is spontaneous. In other words, not pre-thought. And most often, depending upon the group, that's the information that comes through that's most relevant for the group, even those of you that have not spoken or shared, because we feel the energies. Okay, so what would you like to share, Leona?
Thank you. That was very organic. The exercise was very physical and energetical. It's very interesting, and I feel like, how should I say, my energy is still recalibrating.
Yes.
Around that center point in the heart.
Yes.
And it's joyful, it's beautiful, and at the same time it's almost like a game. It's like everything is getting into its own place, and it's almost like Rubik cube, that kind of,
Ah. Nice. That's a nice way to express it. Yes. Everything is finding its natural place and rhythm. Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it's going to last a while.
Okay. Well, you create the intention however long you want it to last.
Yes, as long as it needs to complete.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Any-
Thank you so much.
Anybody else like to share with those
Yes,
shared before? Who said that?
Evie. Hi, Kenji.
Hi.
Okay, so this is Evie. How are you doing? That
Great.
was brilliant for sharing. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that you mentioned the dark night of the soul, and I know that you probably have spoken about it or taught about it, and I know that this might sound like basic, but if anyone had told me that I would have gone through this for this long haul, I would have like, oh my God, no, 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 no. I'm glad they didn't tell me how long it would have been.
Yeah.
Are you
I know
hearing
what you
me?
mean. I
Oh
know what
yeah,
you
yeah.
mean.
I mean, it's like, Christ, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, continue.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they nobody had, even if they knew, would have given me any idea, because it would have, it's Jesus. I mean, sorry, but
Yeah,
anyway,
Jesus.
I'm just
Yeah.
being real.
Yeah.
I'm being real. But now that you said that, it's like the world is on that path, which is that the dark night. Can you explain the difference between what I'm going through personally and what is taking place more globally or universally in that regard?
Well, here's my take. And I'll just share with you my own last dark night of the soul. That was 12 years. Actually, it was more than 12 years. Actually, it was about 13 years. My last dark night of the soul, 13 years. And if someone had said you're going to be
Wow.
going through 13 years of homelessness, bankruptcy, credit card debt, your dad's passing, I would have said, really?
I got it.
13 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, we all know kind of what's going on. I mean, there's the mainstream media news, and then there's the other kind of news that we call intel. And then there's other news that supposedly the guides have perceived. And it comes through in so-called channel messages through certain people. So you've at least got those three perspectives going. All kind of different in a sense. We humans here, we're at a choice point, and we have to decide what is true for us. I think this is the baseline. What is our truth? And are we going to stand up for our truth, whatever we believe to be true? And are we going to say no to the illusion or everything that is not of our truth? We're also being called to come out of the closet. In other words, way back when in the 70s, we had a term for psychic people that didn't do psychic work because they were afraid to. We called them closet psychics. So it was time for the closet light weavers, star seeds, indigos to come out of the closet, because that's where the suffering is. As long as you stay in the closet, you're going to be in some level of personal suffering because you know that you're not expressing yourself as fully as you can. We're also being challenged to say no. So for all, especially women that have grown up not having the courage or the support to say no when you want to say no, that's what we're being challenged with. Is, are we going to say no to that which we really would like to say no to if we had full freedom? So in other words, we're being challenged to reclaim our sovereignty as free souls on this planet, to not be conditioned anymore by anyone or anything or any belief system. Now, as you know, the lockdown in COVID has cost many lives, whoops, wait a minute, get that here, cost many lives, has put people into unemployment or even homelessness, you know, the whole trip. Now we've got the stuff going on in the world with our military and governments. So the call is, are we going to take sides, or are we going to see this for what it truly is from a place of neutrality and non-judgment? Because it's very tempting right now to become emotionally involved in what's going on. Do we speak up? Do we stay silent? What do we do? Do we do anything at all? This is our challenge. And so for each and every one of us, it's going to be unique. But the challenge is, what is our truth? And the second part is, what kind of a world do we want to live in? So if you have a belief that you cannot create the world that you would love to be in, well, that takes a second look then. But if you know that you have choice in creating your world, in spite of what's going on, that you have the power, the right, and the energy to create your world. So is it going to be a world of conflict or a world of peace and love, basically? Now, you can be in the middle of a war zone and hold that place of peace and safety and security and love. But of course, the church didn't teach you how to do that, nor did your elementary school teachers or your university professors. You had to go outside of those realms to seek it, you know, as a seeker. We're also being challenged on how to communicate with others, because you don't want to hermit yourself in these times. You want to make yourself accessible as much as you can, whether you are on Zoom or physically out there. You don't want to isolate yourself in your home. COVID taught us that. All right. That was a time for a lot of people to go within and to find out who they are and where they want to go in their life. Okay, that's good. That was positive. But we cannot lock ourselves at home anymore. We have to be accessible, not only to other humans, but to our guides, right? So, how was that?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand what's going on, but I just wanted to ask a question in relation to the last part.
The last,
Yeah, in saying don't isolate. Okay. Right now, because of all this dark night and stuff, it's like I'm a mystery to people. They don't see the same person that was communicative and social as before. So it's kind of like they want they it's kind of like a not ostracism in that regard, but kind of like well, I'm looking at her through the corner of my eye. What's going on? You know, not the approachable type as I was before. So that is like a sense of like distancing and not by choice by me. Do you see what I'm saying?
okay.
So how you're saying that it's COVID has taught us that we kind of should be like out there embracing each other now that we have, sensed what it's like to be like isolated. So, but that this is not a choice of mine, wanting to be like distance from the others. It's just like just the way of the beast. You're going through the dark night people don't understand, well, once upon a time it used to be this, now what's going on? It's a mystery to me, it's a mystery to them. So I think that it's not a choice that I want to be isolated, but it's just like it just happens. So how do I break that? How do I build that bridge?
Well, if you are sort of in isolation due to your personal dark night of the soul, okay, I can see that, because it is a time to go within and to really experience who you are, what you are, and why and how you serve in the world and in the universe. So I could see that. So if it's a time of reflection and going within, yes, then you use that time. And
Yes.
yeah, if they don't understand, yeah, they don't understand. So but when you emerge out of the dark night of the soul, you will be that much stronger. So I became stronger after my 20 some odd years in that last episode. I mean, my God, I didn't know if it was ever going to end, man. There was times when I was living with my parents in the Bay Area and I had no job, and I was taking care of my mom, who had gotten a series of strokes. So my dad and I were taking care of her, and I had no friends other than my cousin, and I felt really alone. And I would ask God every night, like, wow, help me through this, man, because I couldn't see the light of day. And it took a house fire to get me and my dad out of that house. And of course, I went homeless from the house fire for 6 months, and I had PTSD kind of from the shock of knowing the house caught on fire. It didn't blow up, but it caught fire, and fire department had to come and everything. We could have actually died in the house because it was winter and all the windows were closed. And fire chief said, yeah, your house could have blown up like in that movie Backdraft. And I never saw that movie, but he told me about it. I went, oh my God, we were like minutes away from the house exploding due to lack of oxygen, fire. That was like really weird. Anyway.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, when I came out of it, though, after deciding I'm either going to live or die, I'm going to go up to Mount Shasta. I'm either going to live or I'm going to make transition on a beautiful mountain. Well, it wasn't my time yet, obviously, but from all of that and moving to Seattle, cold turkey, I became stronger slowly but surely. But it took quite a number of years. Would I choose it again? No, I probably would not choose it again. But
thank you.
It has made me strong because I don't think of anything that could have happened that was worse than being homeless for 6 months with very little money and no job, just my cousin and a few friends, spiritual friends. And yeah, I was alone pretty much every day, contemplating what to do next.
Yes. I totally understand about that, because I've been going through it for a while, and like I said, nobody is understanding. They're thinking you've prepared yourself for life. Yeah. If you don't have what you want, it's your doing, it's your lack of motivation, whatever. And it's like, it's hard to explain, because if they haven't gone through it, you can't make anyone understand that this is not your will. It's thy will, not my will.
Yeah.
And this part of it where you said that's when you discover who you are. But if you don't know your purpose, then you're going to be suffering, right? If you haven't found your purpose within that part, hopefully somebody else is listening and can benefit from this part of the conversation. But if you don't know your purpose during that time, it's just going to be drawn out. Is that what it is? Can I have your take on it?
Well, I believe everybody knows why we're here, who they are, really. I mean, at least intellectually. Because we're born with that. We're born with all of that. We're born with all of the gifts and all the struggles that we had in our past lives. We were born with all of that. So we have it somewhere within our awareness. Let me see, getting back to your question here. Kind of retrack a bit. yeah, it is probably most likely true that if no one's ever acknowledged their dark night of the soul episode, it's pretty difficult for them to understand someone else's episode. Again, sometimes you feel like you're left alone and like God isn't even present. Like, where is God in all of this? I'm suffering, help, right? and nothing comes. Well, that's kind of on purpose too, by design in a sense. So you're either going to give up and like some of these young kids, they were in the dark night of the soul when they committed suicide, but they didn't realize the divine purpose of all that. They just took their life because that was the only thing that would relieve their suffering in their mind. And so they did that. They didn't have to do that necessarily. So will they? Well, yeah, you'll experience the dark night of the soul until you finally master the last one, in a sense. And then
Oh God.
you won't need to do it anymore. But if you combine that with midlife crisis or Saturn return, it makes it even that much worse. So if you're like around 28 and going through stuff, or you're 56 and going through stuff, or if you're in your early 40s and going through stuff, and you're in your dark night of the soul, that's tough. That is tough. I've not so much known clients, but I've known people whose lives, oh my God, I go, wow. I mean, it's just like drama after drama after drama after drama. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing I can comment about that other than I guess they're not willing to make a change. And that's why they keep going through the drama literally every other month. This could be repetitive injuries. It could be recurring diseases. It could be recurring emotional upsets. I mean, you name it, right? If it keeps reoccurring, obviously, yes, it's chronic. And it's probably a past life carryover. And it probably also is reflected in your early childhood trauma. So I always tell people, I heard this from somebody, God, back in the 70s. And I thought that's true. That what that man said is really true. He says, if you take care of the karma with your parents, you're pretty much done. I mean,
Yes.
you're pretty much free. And how many of us have not completed with our parents? Most of your clients, if you have clientele, have been wounded in their early childhood, reflected maybe in their first marriage or their first love experience that didn't go well. But you got to take care of the issues with your parents. And you can also do it if they're on the other side. You can also take care of that, obviously, because there is no loss of connection, especially with family. And normally, even if you didn't get along with your parents and they're on the other side, they're most likely going to come back and be with you to help you out as best they can, because that's what parents do. So all you got to do is call on them. Even if you never got along with them in physical life, they can be there as sort of your personal guides, in a sense. I'll give you another story recently. So one of my best friends' mom just passed away in the hospital. She had open heart surgery at a very old age, about 6-8 months ago. I didn't think she was going to make it. And she never really made it out of that surgery, as you can imagine. Anyway, so she passed on just a few days ago. And then the wife of my friend, whose son committed suicide about a year ago, came to her and said, we got your mom. We're taking care of your mom. And that was right after she passed. That was in like about 2 days.
Mm.
Anybody have any comments so far?
I have a comedy club has tapped me on the shoulder here. They wanted me to tell you about this new restaurant that opened here in Delray Beach called Karma.
Uh-huh.
They have no menu. You only get what you deserve.
Oh, well.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
You have no menu.
You get what you deserve.
That's good.
We love the comedy.
Karma.
Okay, let me check the chat real quick, and then we'll get into a meditation to help you tune into the potential energies of this membership group. Oh my God, Jan, really? Yeah, that really sucks. I mean, that Jesus, that is too much. And how can they prove it wasn't up to code? I mean, God. Sometimes I wonder. Yeah, the image of the hermit, that hermit card. Oh, I drew that card a lot as a young adult, the hermit. Yeah, I related to the hermit a lot. Okay, you guys, I'm going to save the chat. Make sure everybody's muted. We'll do a tune in here. All right, I'm going to put myself on speaker view, and everybody should be muted. Okay. Okay, we're going to tune into the future possibilities of this updated membership subscription program called Joyful Creations Academy. So that is our name, Joyful Creations Academy.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's recenter just a little bit. Come into the here and now moment. Be one with your body, but not of it. Be one with your body, but not of it. Be one with your mind and not of it. Be one with your feeling and your sensing channels. All right. So we're going to make sure that our crown chakra is open, that our pineal pituitaries are activated, that your throat chakra is open, your heart chakra is open, flowing with the threefold flame of the divine, the pink, the golden, and the blue. Your solar plexus is stable and open. Your sacred womb space is open and balanced. Your root chakra is open and rooted with the core of new earth through your feet. Hand chakra is open. All right. I'm going to ask your highest frequency guides to do a quick aura balancing and perhaps chakra and assemblage point balancing, rebalancing. So this future tune-in meditation is for all those that will listen to this meeting live and on replay. So the call is going out to all those star seeds, and it goes the new millennials, the elders that could benefit from this program. The call goes out to you, goes out to the four corners of the universe, that this program is open and available for your highest benefit. Now, let's do a deeper alignment with your I am. And through your knowing, you're going to breathe in and connect even deeper to your I am through the power of the breath. Breathe in and breathe out, relaxing every muscle in your body. stepping aside the ego and the mental body and the emotional body and tribal consciousness and all the chaos in the world. You're going to ask your highest frequency guides to assist with aligning your awareness with the possibilities of this new membership program. So we're going into the future. Feel the power, feel the benefits of all of the bonuses of this program and the monthly drips of radio shows. World Puja Network radio shows. Your yearly packages. Your 50% discounts on all products and events. And allow a tune in to the guides that will be present. The highest frequency guides. Experience the future as in this now moment. Breathing deeply through the body. Begin to align to the many benefits, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, from this program. According to your belief and trust in self. And in the dream time tonight, or shall we say this week, in your dream time, ask the highest frequency guides, the dream guides, to guide you into some of the experience that you could receive if you join the membership program. And you can muscle test now from this place within the quantum, in your upper room. You can muscle test the body to see if this program will benefit your body. Now, you can also time travel into 1 year from the start of your membership program. You can time travel to 1 year from that date and feel the benefits 1 year in advance on as many levels as possible. We're going to call in the guides now. Imagine that they are creating a circle of light within your presence and around your physical body, a beautiful ring of light. And begin to feel that sacred space that this membership program will create for all those that attend. Sacred space. And all of the nature beings that have been invited to be a part of this membership program. And ask your inner child what your inner child thinks and feels about this membership program and what it could do for your little one. Breathe deeply the light. Going to come back to the room now. Keeping that alignment. Staying in the flow. Coming back as the flow, back into the room and your physical body. Feeling the presence of the now moment. I am here, I am now, I am fully awake. Now, allow some time for integration, say for about the next hour. And if you need to take a detox bath, please do so, but remember to drink some water. Get some fresh air if you can. Go for a walk. Okay, thank you for your attendance. I am going to turn off the recording now.